Welcome to Wednesday morning's healing class. The format of this class is that we'll do 10 minutes of gentle warm-up exercises, and then we'll do the standing meditation section. If you're watching the video and you don't feel up to the exercises, you can just fast forward. But I do recommend that everybody try the exercises because it really is about getting the blood and the qi flowing well. And in order to sleep well, we need lots of qi. And in order to practice well, we need lots of qi. So it does help us just do this little warm-up session beforehand. Very simple, standing with the feet shoulder-width apart, knees gently bent. Tailbone softly dropping down towards the ground. Top of the head gently pushing up into the blue sky. Body feels relaxed. Draw the mind back. So the idea of that is that our mind is out roving the shopping malls, thinking about our families and doing whatever it might be. Draw the mind gently back inside. And then imagine drawing your mind down into your belly, right at the very core of you. From there, we're going to turn our waist. So just a very gentle turn, and just sort of see how your spine feels today when you look back over your shoulder. On the other side, gently turning. Just feel that you can softly open up your spine. So this is a good moment. If there's any kind of warning your spine is feeling uncomfortable, you'll get it now. If it doesn't feel too uncomfortable, release your waist and just let the body gently turn. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the elbows relaxed, keep the hands relaxed, and just allow the body to gently turn. Apropos of nothing, I was just listening to the radio when I was having my morning shower, and there was a scientist there who was talking about music. And the scientist was saying, I spend a lot of time working with creative people, and I see how much research work they do before they create their masterpiece, before they create their work. And when artistic people work with scientists, they often are fascinated by how much creativity scientists have to put in to make their projects work, to make their experiments, to dream up their experiments. And she said, we have this artificial line that we draw between science and art, which doesn't really exist. And that to me made me feel so happy. I thought it was such a lovely thing to hear. I've always felt it slightly annoying, the fact that our schools don't teach art anymore and they put such an importance on science. But to see her say that quite clearly, that the two of them are so interconnected and so well, of course, everything is interconnected. Nothing is ever separate. And it just gave me great pleasure this morning. I was very, very pleased that that lady said that, because that's exactly how it feels. And if we find ourselves feeling separate, then we know that something is wrong. So this is one of the absolute key things about Dr. Pang's story of the 8 phrases. It's about the 8 phrases, which we will do in a few moments, is a reminder that you are connected to everything. It's a reminder that you are one with everything. The more we look at quantum theory, the more confusing it becomes, really. And that's good because, it always helps us stretch our minds. The point about it is that, if you were only consuming things you understood, then you'd never really expand your mind at all. And so we try and take on these behemoth ideas that, everything at some level is just vibration, that our bodies are not solid at all, that our existence seems to be flickering in and out like an old movie projector, millisecond by trillisecond, our world kind of refreshes itself. I don't know if you know how a TV works, but there's this idea that, you know, if they flash the pictures onto the screen 50 times a second, and it all looks very real to you, it looks like a moving image, but they're constantly flashing this, and we can't see the rate that the screen is refreshing at. Well, apparently that's the same for our universe. Apparently it's pulsing and flashing at an extraordinarily billions, trillions, millions of a second rate. We can't see it, and that just doesn't make any sense to us. You know, it's kind of, can that be true? It is. So the idea is that your body is in the quantum field. Your body is an expression of the quantum field. This little part of the quantum field that's being expressed looks like you, and yeah, everything that happens to you is a reflection of, well, what is happening in the conscious field and our consciousness, how it perceives it. So the question is, what is going on with your life? What information are you receiving from your quantum field, and what is it doing to your physicality? So it's all very well to think, oh, well, you know, my body's broken, something's wrong with this. It's a very, you know, it needs to be mechanically sorted. And that's as far as we've got with Western medicine. Eastern medicine goes further and talks about energy. But I think we go even deeper than that into the quantum realm when we start to talk about consciousness. So the consciousness that you are bringing to your daily life turns into matter eventually. So the consciousness can turn into a lump inside your body. The consciousness can bring about pain in your spine. The consciousness can bring about, well, because the consciousness brings about everything. So the question is, what are you expressing that is making you feel the way you do? And what you might be expressing is joy and happiness, and it might be making you feel great. So that's also true as well. It doesn't have to be bad, but it is about vibration. And so today, our sounds that we're using this last couple of weeks are about making deep vibrations in our body. They're about vibrating the energy. When we start to talk about the emotions that go along with the sounds, then we're really starting to get to the consciousness level. And so what we're trying to do here is create, in this particular class, I'm trying to create an idea where we work with our consciousness, we work with the vibration of our chi, and in this little section, we work with the physicality of our body. So we're trying to work on all possible levels with this class. So it goes much, much deeper. Okay, good. So let's just finish the physical part. So we can let this one slow down, slow down, slow down, come to a stop. Sometimes I know it makes you feel dizzy, so let's just gather some energy, lift up, pour the energy back down through the body. This helps to kind of calm and relax the body, bring it back into a steady place. Lift you up. Gently pour the chi down through your body. So as you know, Dr. Pang doesn't really tend to use breaths in 𝐬𝐸 Qigong. He doesn't sort of specify a lot of breathing. But you tend to find that when you're doing this lifting, it does seem to work well with your breath, just breathing out and letting the whole thing come back down through your body. So this for me tends to suggest, it might be completely different for you, it might be the opposite way around, but this for me suggests a gathering. So I sort of breathe in and lift up. And then I pour down and let the chi pour through as I breathe out. Okay, let's do some forward and back bends then. Lift up and gather. Stretch up. And then as you breathe out, roll the body down. Sorry, I should have talked you through that a bit more carefully. All you guys on the call are
old hands at this exercise, but somebody on the video might be new. So we come down here, we can keep our knees soft. We try and relax the back of the neck so the top of the head is facing down to the ground. We're going to split the foot into 4 pieces. Stretch gently down towards your toes. And then release that bend. Imagine a line that's drawn between the roots of your toes, where they come out of your foot. Stretch towards that line. And then release. Imagine a line that's drawn between your insteps. Stretch gently towards that line. And release. And then we have a line between our heels. So now we just go as deep as we wish. Good. And then just let the body gently hang and relax here. Okay, to bring yourself upright, point the tailbone up into the blue sky behind you. You feel the legs stretch a little bit. Swing the tailbone to the front of the body. Start to build up the spine vertebra by vertebra. Slowly bring the spine up. And then try and bring up your arms and your ears at the same speed. They're not pressed together, they're just coordinated. Lift up, stretch up into the blue sky. Okay, so we're going to let our knees and our hips drift forward, and you can softly lean backwards. Stretch up, gently lean back. Stretch up, gently lean back. Stretch up, gently lean back. Good. Hands up into the blue sky. Arms and ears coordinate here. So first of all, we just bring over the arms and the ears, which is bending our neck. When the arms are parallel to the floor, then we can start to bend our upper back, bend the middle back, bend the lower back, let the knees relax and soften, let the body hang down. Try and take the pressure off the back of the neck. Stretching gently down towards the toes, and then release. In line with the roots of our toes, and release. In line with the insteps, and release. Back toward the heels. Body relaxes, body hangs. Lift the tailbone up behind. Push the tailbone towards the front of the body. Start to assemble the spine vertebra by vertebra. Try and bring up the arms and the ears in coordination, almost as if you're lifting a heavy weight with your fingertips. Draw up, draw up, draw up, stretch up. Knees and hips drift forward. You can gently lean back, opening the front of the body up. Stretch up and gently back. Stretch up and gently back. Stretch up and gently back. Okay, try and do the next 2 sets with your legs straight. So try and straighten the legs out. Arms and ears go over, just bending the top of your neck. When the arms are parallel to the floor, we go into the upper back, we go into the middle back, we go into the lower back, and then we let the body hang down and relax. Okay, so back of the neck is soft and relaxed, body hangs and relaxes. Back of the legs are nice and straight because we've got the knees locked if possible. Okay, with these nice straight legs, we do the same thing again. So gently stretching down towards your toes, in line with your toes. And release. In line with the root of your toe where it comes out of the foot. And release. In line with your insteps. So you can see we're gradually getting deeper with each bend. And release. Back toward the heels. Nice deep bend. Relax, release. Lift the tailbone to point up behind. Push the tailbone to the front of the body. Start to roll the spine up. Bring out the head, the arms, the ears. Stretch up, stretch up, stretch up. Knees and hips drift forward. You softly lean back and up, back, stretch up, back, stretch up, back, and up. Hands up in the blue sky. Last time. So legs are nice and straight, arms and ears tip over, upper back, middle back, and lower back. Body hangs down and relaxes. Nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Back of the neck is soft. Tummy is tucked in. Extending down towards the toes. And release. In line with the roots of our toes. And release. In line with the insteps. And release. Back toward the heels. Relax and release. Body hangs. Lift the tailbone up behind. Push the tailbone to the front of the body. Roll the spine up. Put up the head and the arms and the ears. Gently stretch up. Gently stretch up. And gently stretch up. Knees and hips drift forward. You can lean back and up. Back. Stretch up. Back. Stretch up. Back. And stretch up. Hands up into the blue sky. Just draw the hands over the crown of the head. Let them pour through the body for a moment or two. Then let the hands drift down. Gathering chi. This is the way to stabilize ourselves. Lifting up. Pouring down. And imagining the torrent of chi through the head, deep into your chest. And then it all comes to rest deep inside your belly. We hold the chi there for a split second and then release the hands. And the chi continues to pour down the legs into the ground. Lift up and gather. Gently pull. Draw the chi deep into the center of your body, deep into the belly. Hands can relax. Lift and gather. Pour chi down. Draw chi down. Focus the chi deep inside. Let the hands relax. We finish off our warm-up set just by doing some simple side bends. Okay, so just breathe and lift your right hand up into the blue sky. As we exhale, tip across to the left side, opening up the right side of your body. Breathe and lift up. Exhale, turn the hands over. Breathe and lift up. Exhale, right. Breathe and lift up. Turn the hands over as you exhale. Breathe and lift up. Head across to the left. Breathe and lift up. Exhale, swap hands over. Breathe and lift up. Let's go across. Pointing right. Breathe and lift up. Turn the hands over. Breathe and stretch up. Point across to the left. Feel the right side of the body really open up. Last time, breathe and lift up. Swap the hands over. Breathe and lift up. Head across. Really feel the left side of the body arcing open. Breathe and lift both hands up in the air. Exhale, let the hands down. Good, and let's just gather the chi a few more times. Lifting up and gather. Gently pouring down. Lifting up and gathering. Pour chi through. One more time. Lovely.
Let's just gather our hands onto our bellies. Pour qi down through the body. Bring everything toward the center of your belly. Just let the hands settle on the belly button. Mind drops down into lower dantian, behind the hands, in this kind of energy field behind the hands. In Qigong, we refer to it as lower dantian, the lower energy field, the lower, it's got all sorts of extraordinary names, elixir field, the lower cinnabar field. I don't know what cinnabar is, but I think it's some mystical substance, but there, deep inside, we imagine this energy field gathering. Just allow your eyes to soften and close if they're open. I'm just going to sing the 8 phrases of Qi, Dr. Pang's poem, and then I'll just tell you what it's about. It goes like this. To Tian Che Li Jin Song Chang Hua Ji De Ji Xing Chong Ma Yin Bu Qi Shen Ju Tai Kung Shen Yu Jiao Ti Jiao Shen Rong Rong Jiao Shen Rong Rong Jiao Shen Rong Rong. The last line, Jiao Shen Rong Rong, it reminds us to harmonize ourselves in the qi field. Well, our first little set of exercises, that harmonizes us in the qi field. We go through the same exercises again and again, and your mind just switches off. Your mind kind of says, yeah, I know what we're doing. And then that drops us into this qi space. But also by listening or singing the 8 phrases, it brings us into the same qi space. Harmonizes us with the qi field. Connects us with everything around us. The only thing that keeps us from being deeply connected in the qi field is the left logical side of our brain. Goodness, it likes to tell us stories. It likes to tell us we're separate. It likes to give us fear. The outside world is a scary place. It likes to do all these things, but it's actually not the reality. That's just the human condition. So now Dr. Pang says to us, go beyond that. Find this deep connection with the consciousness field, and you can heal yourself. The specifics of the song, they say body relaxes, mind expands, connect to the heavens, connect to the earth, take up a nice humble stance to get some inner peace. Quieten your mind, no distracting thoughts. Let your mind voyage beyond your body, out into the blue sky, out into the universe beyond. Draw qi in from the universe. Don't forget, you can draw qi in from the universe through your feet. You can draw qi in from the universe through your head, through the back surface of the body, through the front surface of the body, to the left and the right. In 1,000 directions, we can gather qi into the body. Allow yourself to absorb all of this qi deep inside. So what we're kind of being asked to do is let go of the things that make you, you. Let go of your ego, let go of your ideas. Let go and open up. Become one with the universe. Relax into the qi field. Realize that you can draw healing qi deep into your body. And in so doing these things, we harmonize ourselves in the qi field. We become one with the energy around us. So we're going to start off by finding the middle energy center. So the easiest way to do that is by holding your hands on your breastbone and gently moving them around as you make the sound ling, ling. So it's 2 of the 4 tones of Chinese. Ling, which is very kind of like flat, monotone, doesn't change. And then ling, it goes from a low to a high, and ascending tone. So we say ling, ling. And when you say ling, you can feel the sort of jump of your diaphragm, and you can start to find where middle dantian is by sensing into your body. Where is ling, ling coming from? Let's try that a few times. Breathe in. Ling, ling. Ling, ling. You can move your hands around till you feel you've got the right spot under the center of your palm. Breathe in. Ling, ling. Ling, ling. Ling, ling. Think you've got it? Zoning in on it. One more time. Ling, ling. Okay. So hopefully you've got a good idea of roughly where lower dantian is now. Sorry, this is middle dantian, the middle energy field. This is the energy field that relates to our heart, to our lungs, spleen, pancreas, liver, kidneys. Okay, so with the hands on this kind of external version of middle dantian, we're going to say 𝐬𝐥𝐿. So and then we say Wong. And if you remember from the last lessons, this ONG or ANG we'll see later, or sometimes ENG. It's a sort of a vowel and NG afterwards. It opens up the inside of your mouth. So your mouth, the lips stay the same, but the kind of inside expands, the space expands. So we say, really opens up the mouth inside. And then the NG kind of comes back inside the body. So we say, feel the NG going deep inside. Take a little breath. Qing, and Qing just vibrates inside. So let's say Wong Qing 6 times. Take a breath in. Just a cheeky little in breath there to get the Qing to work. Wong Qing. Do you want to go higher? didn't feel quite right for me, so I'm going to go a bit lower again. But you adjust it till you find the note that suits you. Breathe in. If you speed it up a little bit, you can make it all into one tone. Breathe in. Okay, so that kind of vibrates middle dantian, opens up middle dantian, ready for the work we're going to do. As you can see, I'm wearing my red kit. I still think we're in the middle of summertime energy. So that would mean that we always start with the heart. So in these tones, the first part of the tone is the physicality. The second part of the tone is the chi level. And the third part of the tone is the associated spirit of each organ. So in Chinese medicine, we have this idea that each organ has got a kind of like a guardian inside it. But I think that what we're just talking about is the vibration, essentially. So it's nice to think about the classical ideas, but I think we can just call it the very finest vibration would also equate to spirit, I suppose. So what about your heart? When we think in Chinese medicine about people who have issues with their heart, they have instability in their thinking. They have instability in their speech. They have an old-fashioned word, giddiness, kind of a bit overexcitable is another idea that's attributed to it. Laughing inappropriately, laughing too much, laughing too long. Everybody else has stopped and you're still, ha, ha, ha. This is something that indicates heart energy is not particularly stable. When the heart energy is not stable, we find it very hard to express real, genuine, true love. Not manipulative love, not conditional love. If you love me, I'll love you. It's unconditional, open-hearted love. So openness is another part of the heart story. This real ability to be open to our other humans. So openness, kindness, love comes about. So we can see if you're someone who talks too much, if you're someone who has a speech impediment, stuttering, if you're someone who is giddy, someone who is unstable in their thought, and it's all to do with the heart. So we're going to do our heart tones. The heart special, the emperor of all of the organs. So we take it and we do 3 separate tones. You'll see the other ones get kind of mixed up, but the heart, we're just a little bit more delicate with the heart. We'll definitely go slightly stronger with the first tone, but the last tone we're going to go very delicately. Okay, so first tone for the heart is Shin, X-I-N in Chinese, in Pinyin, but it sounds like Shin, Shin, like the shin on the front of your leg. Do you want to hold your heart? Do you want to have your hands in front of your heart? Do you want to massage your heart while you do it? Whatever feels right for you. Sometimes people tap as well. So you just find what feels right. Let's say Shin. Take a breath in. Shin. Do you want to try a head tone for the heart? Shin. Which feels better? Did you like the lower one, the higher one? The musical note that goes with heart is G. A, B, C, D, I'm trying to think do, re, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Anyway, doesn't say G in there, does it? Anyway, the musical tone G. I'm not quite sure. I used to have some tuning forks which have disappeared in my move, so I could actually G. G might be up here. Okay, take a breath in. Shin. Shin. Breathe in. I'm going down. Breathing in. See if you can find that vibration in your heart. Do Shin one more time. Next tone is Xiang. So it's got this opening and closing. Xiang. Okay, do you want to hold the heart? Take a breath in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Just imagining your heart opening up. Goodness, when we have slights in love, when we have express hatred, our heart closes. It really stops us from being open, from being kind, compassion. Really allow your heart to open with these tones. Just do Xiang one more time with an idea of that. Breathing in. This last tone is much more about spirituality of the heart, but that's also about the emotion of the heart. It may seem very scary to love again, but sometimes you just have to open your heart and trust that you will love appropriately. The last tone is very delicate. Shing. It's got that idea. So the vibration vibrates deep inside the heart. So there's a tiny little opening. It opens a little, closes a little, delicate, deep inside the energy of the heart, promoting love and openness, kindness and compassion, letting all hatred disappear, letting all giddiness and instability go. Okay, so let's do Xing, breathing in. Xing. It's a gentle tone. Breathing in. Xing. Gentle breath in. Xing. Breathing deep. Xing. One last time. Massage gently into your heart. Think about your heart being open. Think about love and kindness flowing. Unconditional love disappears. Hatred disappears. Instability disappears. Okay. Blood and chi flowing well through your heart. So the heart is the summer season. We move on to this late summer. That's the earth element. Late summer is when we harvest all of our crops. That's pretty much coming up soon. Late summer, we only have 4 seasons in the Western world, but late summer is a little sort of insertion which lasts for about 4 to 6 weeks, where we get into that hot, sticky part of summer, and perhaps that's July and August. Perhaps it's August, September, not quite sure. It fits in there somewhere, and energetically it starts to feel like that, and it's starting to get that way. Not quite yet, I don't feel quite the energy has shifted yet, but it's really getting there. So we spend time working with our spleen, because that's the next season that will have to take up the energy. So spleen is on the left-hand side. Late summer, the color is yellow. You can imagine massaging this beautiful yellow chi. Heart was obviously red, yellow for the spleen. So what about spleen? Overthinking is one of the key things. Worrying. So worrying and overthinking, you can see how those become part of the same story. I worry so much about him. What are you doing? Well, you're churning the idea over and over. So worrying and thinking are pretty much equal. And then there's also trust, which is part of your spleen story. I don't trust anybody, and that's because your spleen is not functioning properly. Or I always trust everybody. I give my bank account details to anybody on the telephone, that kind of thing. You trust too much. So we have to get the balance in every single thing. So what we're looking for is appropriate trust and just thinking the right amount, not overthinking, not churning over day in and day out. And I always point out, this is why students eat, lots of sweets and eat lots of biscuits and lots of coffee, obviously, sweet coffee, when they're studying hard, because they're really overthinking too much for their exam finals. And what happens is that they can only make the spleen work with sugar, which is the sort of false way of making the spleen work. Pump it full of sugar and your brain kind of can keep overworking, but we don't want to do that. We want to have our mind in a nice, steady, even, tranquil place where even our trust is in balance, where our thinking is in balance. And then our diet would be in balance as well. We wouldn't be constantly worrying and constantly needing to take on lots of sugar. So spleen, gang fu zhong. Gang fu. It's a big sort of full. Gang fu. Fu kind of goes inwards, I think. Gang opens up, fu goes deep, and then zhong. So we take a little breath where we can stop there. Zhong. It's actually D-J-O-N-G. It's kind of like, the sound, like Django. Zhong. We could massage our spleens. We can just hold our spleens. We can have our hands in front of our spleens. Okay, so just gently holding, and we're going to do gang fu zhong. We'll try and do about half a dozen of those as well. Give it a little bit more work for this time of year, seeing as it's about to come into focus, as it were. Okay, thinking about yellow chi, thinking about autumnal colors, thinking about ochre, thinking about olives, thinking about ripe corn, thinking about bread, that sort of, I don't know, terracotta that we store things in, those kind of tones. Okay, so breathe deep. Gang fu zhong. Gang fu zhong. Would you be surprised to find that the musical note that goes with earth, with spleen, is the note C on the piano? And C is the center note of your octave. It's exactly in the middle. The earth is always seen as being in the middle of the 4 seasons. It has its little time here in the 5 seasons, but in the 4 seasons, it sits in the center of the four of them. So it's the center of everything, that the core of you. The earth is, well, we come from the earth, don't we? We return to the earth. So 𝐸𝐸𝐸 vibrates the earth element within us. Okay, breathing deep. Little breath in, 𝐸𝐸. Breathing deep. First two are 𝐸𝐸 breath, 𝐸𝐸. Breathe in. Gentle breath in. All our worries, all our overthinking starts to disappear on this vibrational energy. Breathing deep. All our rumination disappearing, overthinking gone. Breathe in. In its place, you start to trust the world around you appropriately. You start to feel just the right amount of worry, the right amount, just to sort of keep your life ticking over, because worry can be a positive thing as well. What it means is that you're thinking carefully about the concerns in your life, but you're not letting them plague you. You're not letting them, so you're giving due attention to your life, which is the correct balance of worry. Giving due attention to the things that need attention, trusting that the things will be correct, that will work out right. And yeah, that's exactly it. Let's do 𝐸𝐸 𝐸𝐸 one more time. Breathe in. What tends to happen is that when your chi is out of balance, maybe all of it goes out of balance to some degree. You think, yeah, I mean, I can be overthinking far too much. I can be untrusting. That we just managed to finish our spleen. So when we look at the seasonal turn, we find that we go from obviously summer into this special late summer session. Then we move on to the lungs, which is the autumn session. Wow, the lungs, I'm puffed here with my lungs. They have the lungs have very special, okay, so in that rotation, the lungs have a very special place, I feel. The next thing for autumn is that lungs tend to be put under a lot of pressure, and the pressure that comes to the lungs, the emotions that are joined with the lungs, gosh, they feel, perhaps to me, they feel like the heaviest of all the emotions. And so they're named sadness, sorrow, guilt, grief, and shame. They seem to be incredibly heavy, those sadness, sorrow, guilt, grief, and shame. And so very often we think about, when we've lost someone we love, that, there's a great deal of sorrow in your heart. sadness that you'll no longer be with this person. Sometimes there's shame because you never got to say goodbye, guilt that you did something that they, and it all seems to be sort of tied up in that as well. So a lot of this comes up when we suffer loss, and an awful lot of it can be held in our lungs. And it can be held for an awful long time. It can be part of our mourning process. Sometimes we never get over it. The death of your father or the death of your mother, and it could be 20 years later and you're still carrying that story inside. So the lungs seem to have some very heavy weights inside them. So it's a very, very useful thing to do, the lung tone. What I'm suggesting here is that perhaps you might find a tone that's more appropriate for you, something that you need to work with. And if that is the case, then why not use that tone on a daily basis? Why not take the tone? You could always rewatch this video, make sure you've got the tone right. It's nice to be able to do all 5 of them at once, because that represents essentially a full body workout, all of the 5 organs in your system, as it were. But it's just as appropriate to think to yourself, wow, yeah, Jeremy's saying that about my lungs. I totally feel it. I'm just going to do the lung, for 5 or 10 minutes each day, along with, rubbing the lungs or tapping the lungs or just concentrating on freeing in the lungs, doing standing Qigong, just holding your lungs or hands in front of your lungs and imagining clearing the Qi just with a breath, breathing in, breathing out, and releasing the emotions of the lungs. You can do it simple as that, but we'll also do the lung tone. So you could do, 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes of the lung tone as well. Okay, so our lung tone has it's a very sort of strange one. The first one is sang. And then, so sang has got that usual opening up, sang, like the word sang. The lady sang a song for us, sang. And then we take the breath in, and then we do the strange tone that goes, so that's a breath out, and then it's a breath in. You're sipping in. And what it does is it closes the valves. It closes the little alveoli in your lungs. And it's very, very good exercise for the inside of your lungs, if you could believe such a thing exists. Clever Chinese Qigong, eh? And that represents this kind of closing inside. And so, as I always say, it's like drinking through a straw, and then suddenly something sticks in the straw and you can't drink anymore. So it goes from sang, and then it goes into song, S-O-N-G, song, turning inside. Sang, song. Okay. So holding onto the lungs, you could cross your hands across your chest if you wish. That would work. Put the hands directly onto the chest. Hands in front of the chest, whatever feels right. Tapping gently into the lungs. I tend to like tapping gently into the lungs, I must admit. Okay, sang, song. So first, the sang. Breathe in. Sang. Now, song. Breathe in. Song. Back to sang. Breathing deep. There's a very curious thing that happens to people when they're grieving, when they're mourning, when they're feeling guilty, is that they're not able to see things through to the end. They're not able to complete the tasks that they've been given. Very often they'll start something and then it just fades away and they don't manage to finish it. So the more we clear away sadness, sorrow, shame, guilt, grief from our lungs, the more honest we become, the more integral, is that the word I'm looking for? The more integrity we have, that's right. So it's kind of the same thing. The more integrity, using the word as being whole as well. So, you know, we're able to see the whole thing through. We are able to, integrate, become honest, see things through, make everything work better. Sorry, difficult concept to describe, but that's when we get rid of our sadness. Let's just do this whole tone twice more. Sang, song. Breathe in. Sa. Little interim breath. Sang, sip, song. Breathe in. Breathe. So we feel our integrity and our honesty rising, and all of the emotions connected with sadness and sorrow just kind of gently going. So that's the autumn season. The color is white out of interest. And if you go to a funeral in the Far East, everybody wears white. We tend to wear black in the West, don't we? But for the East, it's very often white is the color of mourning. And so that ties in with this sadness and sorrow and death and so forth. So but also metal is the color for autumn. So that gives us a kind of like an idea of shining steel. So it's somewhere between white and shining silver almost, into that range there. Okay, so when we move through autumn, we get into winter. And winter, the colors are dark blue, black, deep aubergine, deep kind of colors of the ocean, because we're thinking of water. We're thinking about the water element. We're thinking about the kidneys. So we could have our hands on the kidneys, and we could just put them onto the kidneys sit just at the lowest rib, just above that. So if we have our hands just below the lowest rib or on the lowest rib, we're getting in contact with the kidneys. So connect with your kidneys there and just gently massage them. Do you feel strong enough just to tap the kidneys gently? If not, you can just hold them there. If you can't get your hands around the back, you can just put your hands in the front, at the front ribs, and imagine the hands kind of energy going all the way through to the kidneys at the back. The kidney element is fear. Fear that something will drop out of the sky and kill your child. Fear that a bus will come around the corner and wipe out your family at a bus stop. Irrational fear. Fears that you feel, but they don't really have a basis in fact. And the more fearful you become, oh no, I can't possibly go out. I can't do that. I can't possibly drive that far. You know, this kind of fear, when in fact, after you think about it for a little while, you think, well, I can actually do that. You know, and you come to but you see that the first reaction was this fear that pops up. No, can't do it. I can't do that. I could never walk that far. And then you think, yeah, well, I did that last week, so I probably can do it. But your first reaction is this irrational fear. And that irrational fear presents a kind of a blockage to all of your rational thought. So irrational fear stops rationality. So what it actually stops is your wisdom, because underneath fear, you have this vast amount of wisdom in your body. We're not talking about knowledge. We're talking about wisdom here. We're talking about innate wisdom. And so your fear stops you from being a wise person. The first thing you say is, no. And then you think, oh, I've missed that opportunity now. I should have done it. Where if you'd been in balance, you'd have stopped and you'd have said, now let me think about that. Yep, I think that's a good idea. And that would have all changed. You wouldn't have missed an opportunity. So the more our wisdom rises, the more strong our kidneys become, the more wisdom we have in our lives, or the more we're able to apply the wisdom that we have. What posture are you going to take? Hands on, around the back here. The kidneys have got a strange tone. You start off by saying, E-H, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And we can cough out as many times as we can on the first breath. The diaphragm sits here, the kidneys sit on the diaphragm, and when you say the kidneys jump up, and so the kidneys bounce, bounce, bounce each time you say So we cough out and then we smooth the kidney out with yu-ying, yu-ying. Ying has got that G that appears to kind of turn back. So I always use the idea of the letter G when it's written in sort of the slightly, in sort of small, not a capital, obviously in a small letter. So it's got the U is the kind of circular bit, then the Ying turns back on itself and comes back into you. Ing, you, Ying. All right, so take up a kidney posture wherever you can manage. And then we're just going to take a deep breath in for coughing out. Breathe in. Take a deep breath in. Breathe in. Yu-Ying. Take a breath in. Breathing in. Fear dissipating, wisdom arising. Breathe deep. Breathe in. One more time. Breathing deep. Massage onto the kidneys, tap onto the kidneys a little bit, blood and chi flowing well through your kidneys. Your irrational fear dissipates. Your rational wisdom rises. So we move from the winter season back to spring. Spring green, unsurprisingly, things growing, but it's no less of a strange tone with anger, two, spitting out two this time, T-U. And it really feels like spitting out anger, letting go of the gall and the gallbladder, the bile, and then that's got the tone Ju-Ling. So J-U and then Ling again inside. So we're going to get rid of all of our anger by spitting it out with two. Okay, so do you want to hold your liver? It's just as appropriate to hold the spleen. Spleen and liver are very often paired up. So we can use both sides here. Let's take a deep breath in for two. Breathe in, 𝐸𝐿. Spit out your anger. 2. Smooth out your liver with 𝐸𝐿. Spit out all the gall. Spit out all the bile. Anger dissipating. When you stop being angry, your kindness can arrive, your compassion can come out because you were too angry to be compassionate. Be compassionate. Breathe deep. Breathe in. If you're shaking your fist at the 6 o'clock news and so cross with everything that's going on, you're not able to think about the people who are suffering. And so the anger takes you away from your compassion and kindness. So try to bring that back in. Okay, once more, 2 𝐸𝐿. Breathe in. Breathe deep. Gently massaging the liver, feeling like all of your anger dissipates. Blood and qi flowing well through your liver. Bring the feet together. Bring the hands into our Hun Yuan hand posture. So right hand comes up, left hand goes down. We pull the fingers together, thumbs on the end, just making this kind of yin yang with our hands, and then rest it against the area that you identified in the first tone, ling ling, as being the middle of your lower dantian. And we're just going to say Qing, Qing, Qing. I'm just going to let that vibrate gently. It just kind of brings all of the tones together. All of this work comes deep into the center of middle dantian. Breathing in. Gentle breath. Gentle breath. Breathing in. Two more. Last time. Just release your hands. Go back along your ribs. Open your hands out to the sides. Gather a huge ball of qi in front of you and draw this big ball of qi deep back into lower dantian. Draw the qi into lower dantian. Place the hands on du qi. Hold this qi deep inside. Feel that lower dantian is abundant. Now middle dantian is abundant as well, filled with all this fantastic qi. And upper dantian benefits when the heart is well, the upper dantian as well. So whole body filled with qi, blood and qi flowing well. Imagine flowing this qi up your spine into your brain. Fill your brain, fill your neck, fill your shoulders and your arms. Fill the whole of your spine, your ribs, upper torso, middle torso, lower torso, your hips and pelvis, down into your thighs. Fill your knees with qi. Fill your calves with qi. Fill your ankles with qi and Achilles tendon. Fill the soles of your feet and the whole of your feet with qi. The back surface of your body is filled with qi. We draw the qi over the whole of the skin. Imagine your Wei Qi layer, strong and powerful, filled with qi. Your skin working well, filled with qi. Your Wei Qi layer working well, filled with qi. And your beautiful qi bubble, a meter to the left and right, front and back, above and below, this beautiful protective field of qi, filled with qi too. You, a being of light inside these wonderful fields of qi. Every cell in your body working well. Every organ in your body has been tuned up perfectly. Your body is in perfect harmony. All of your body is healthy. Blood and qi flow well. Your body is healthy. Blood and qi flow in every organ, in every system. All functions of your body are healthy. Put a big smile on your face. Slowly open your eyes. Release your hands down by the sides. Let's have a little bit of a shake, a bit of a move. Okay, very good. So we're going to finish off by saying hao la. Hao la in Chinese means good already. Everything we've done, fixed. So we raise our hands up and I say 1, 2, and we shout hao la. You don't have to unmute your microphone or you'll suddenly alarmingly turn up on YouTube. So keep muted, but you can obviously put your camera on if you want. That's no problem. That doesn't attract attention. So we say hao la together. Put your hands up in the air. 1, 2. Hao la. 1, 2. Hao la. Last time. 1, 2. Hao la. Lovely. Thank you very much. Well, we just bring our hands down back into that same posture. Lift up the right hand, left hand down. But this time we turn our hands facing forwards. Thank you so much for being here today. I'll put this on YouTube as soon as I can and share it around amongst your friends and family. Keep doing the tones. Identify the tone that works for you and do it lots. Do it when you're driving in the car. Do your kidney tone just to build up energy. Do your lung tone to lessen all the grief and sadness, wherever you are. If somebody else is listening, yeah, don't worry. Okay, really good to see you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Have a lovely day.